welcome back to our live Baxter DLC. We're here taking him down to the shopping street. I felt appropriate to use your privilege of asking him a question about himself. Where are you from? I was wondering what's your family like, what are you studying in college, so what's up with the black and white thing? Do you have a partner? I don't think so, but we're not asking that right off the bat, girly. Where are you from is the better choice. Baxter put his hand casually in his pockets, his gaze wandering out over the crowds in the ocean and off into the distance. Starting with the basics. A commendable choice. I mean, honestly, yeah.
Well.
Oh, you're from Virginia. Well, in the most immediate sense, I suppose you could say I came here from Virginia. That's where my college is located after all. Okay. I've been to Virginia. I actually want to move there because it's so chill, but it's fucking expensive, so... Any more than that? Well, it would spoil the mystery, would it not? He glanced back your way and grinned cheekily. Now he was trying to be an enigma on purpose. But of course, I know that is not entirely what you meant. I'm merely teasing. While I might study in Virginia, I'm actually from the Proverbial Oregon Trail, born and bred. Oh, you're a country boy? Or no? That's a state where my home is, if you can believe it. Oh, Oregon. It's not far away at all. Virginia, though, not so much. You grew up pretty close by then. I don't know geography, so is that close? How do you like it back in Virginia? Is it hard living away from where you grew up? Do you miss it? What's your hometown like? I think asking him if it's been hard for him would be the good choice. Baxter nodded, not in agreement, but as if he'd been anticipating your question. He answered almost before you finished speaking.
No.
It was said so instantaneously and with such a genuine smile that you were rather taken aback. You weren't expecting such a candid answer as that. It's like he didn't even have to think about it. Oh, he looks so cute when he looks like that. Oh. Seeing your momentary look of surprise, Baxter's expression softened to something more demure? Whatever. Maybe he'd had this reaction before, maybe many times. It's not so bad as it sounds. At a minimum, I can honestly say that I wish that I missed it, if that makes sense. You guess you could understand that? I don't know how you feel about your hometown particularly, but you should at least be able to appreciate that I spent all my youth there. I'm not so jaded as to totally discount the place, far from it. But anything I liked about my home wasn't exactly exclusive to that locale. The US is a big country, and there are plenty of beautiful things to see wherever you go. I've experienced enough to know that much at least. His voice took a tone of polite finality, not harsh, simply matter of fact. So no, I don't miss it, and I won't be going back. If my parents wish to see me, they'll have to be the ones visiting where I am. He snorted gently to himself. The idea amused him greatly. You got the feeling that he was enjoying a private joke at his family's expense. That could be one of the things you could ask. One of the things you'd ask about later if he was willing to divulge. In any case, you could definitely relate to wanting to get away from it all and spread your wings somewhere new. Perhaps you were kindred spirits in that regard. How do you like it back in Virginia? I'd say I enjoy being there for the most part. As you can probably imagine, it's quite different from here or back home in Oregon, especially the humidity. Everything seems smaller there too. In California, it's like the sky goes on forever and the mountains and the horizons are impossibly far away. Oregon as well. There's a scale there to the scenery that just doesn't compare. Whereas in Virginia, the hills are just that, hills, rather than mountains. Quaint little things, really, and they sort of gently enfold everything. His gaze grew distant again as his mind conjured up memories of the landscape, like it was getting lost among all those quaint little hills. Another good thing about it is the trees. Virginia has plenty of forest cover, like Oregon, so at least in that sense I'm among the familiar. That tracks. I think I read somewhere that something like 2/3 of Virginia consists of forests, right? 2/3? I can readily believe it. You were well informed, mi chico. His voice took on a hushed, affectionate quality. I must confess I have a soft spot for trees. There are these beautiful eastern white pines planted all over the college dorms, magnificent all year round. When summer comes to a close, the needles get everywhere. They fall so thick in places that the ground around is covered in what looks like one big tan shag carpet. If you were to walk underneath any of the branches, you'd be picking needles out of your hair until Christmas. You smile at the mental image. Oh, I guess the colors must stand out against your black and white style. That's right, the natural tones do ruin the effect a bit. Although, of course, with eyes like mine, I'm used to being forced to compromise somewhat. Shoot, I'd somehow completely forgotten about that. Oh gosh, I didn't mean Oh, wait, what? What do you mean? Natural tones do ruin the effect of it? What do you mean? He laughed gently and gave you a look of reassurance. No offense taken. You hit upon one of the fundamental contradictions of my life after all.
You are incredible.
It's remarkable. You know me so well already. Something about the way he said that made... something about the way he said that made your stomach go a little funny. Baxter exhaled slowly, almost dreamily. Ah, that's another good thing Virginia and Oregon have in common. With all the trees around in a variable climate, you truly get the experience of the seasons changing. Summer to fall is especially beautiful. Colors like you would not believe. He was about to get lost in thought again, but then caught himself. So to finally answer your question, yes, I'd say I like it in Virginia a fair amount. The humidity is still a bit of an sticking point. He narrowed his eyes as a fraction as the pun rolled off his tongue without his fully intending it. But at the very least, that's the only an issue during the summer months, and happily for me, I've spent my summer elsewhere this year. You smiled a private smile to yourself. Yes, happily for Baxter indeed. What was your hometown like? I don't know if I got around asking where in Oregon you're from specifically. Right, I suppose I hadn't named the place yet. It's a little town called Golden Grove. You likely won't have heard of it. Surely enough, you couldn't say you knew anything about the place. The name kind of rang a bell, though. It sounds like it might have been a pretty place to grow up, at least if the name is true. Baxter smiled with all his teeth.
Of course.
There's only one thing that springs to mind, isn't there? It's built on the slopes of a mountain, surrounded on all sides by woodland. In the fall, the whole area shines with golden-orange patina of leaves. You almost forget any other colors exist. No wonder they call it something so literal. It does make the place sound grander than it is, though. In truth, it's a small town, though not quite as tiny as Sunset Bird. You can easily stroll the length of this area, and Golden Grove you'd at least want a bike or something or similar to make the trip, though some locals do take the walk. It's a quiet, sleepy corner of Oregon where hardly anyone comes or goes. You either move to the area to settle down, or you've lived there all your life to begin with. My ancestors fell into the former category, myself the latter. You've left now, though. I have indeed. I guess I bucked the trend in more ways than one. That certainly made sense. Ever since you first met Baxter, it seemed like the kind of guy to always be making waves of some kind or another. Something about the way he said that made you think he meant something else by it, though. With a sense of style like that, you had to have turned a few heads. With a personality like yours, you must have stood out. Did you feel out of place there? It's a better question. Baxter shrugged casually. I think I did, sometimes, but that's not quite what I meant. He hummed thoughtfully and tapped his chin with a forefinger, trying to find precisely the right words. After a moment's pause, he continued. You have to understand that this is a small rural town. A fair number of residents are working class. There are some more affluent areas.
To be honest,
I suppose you could say that my family has a reputation in those parts as the local people of means. Or perhaps, to put it in a vulgar terms, you're rich? He snapped his fingers. Precisely, and for better or worse, everyone knows it. If you're going to go there and pass my name around, anyone would know who you were talking about. He gave you a meaningful look as he said this. Please don't actually do that. It might embarrass even me. Oh. He got the sneaking suspicion that it wasn't really his own fluster he was concerned about. He waved a hand with great indifference, as if to lazily swat his own words out of the air. He figured that this was all he felt like saying on the subject. If I'm ever in town, I promise I won't throw your acclaimed name around.
Very well.
Thank you. You needn't go out of your way on my account. Although if you are ever in the area, his smile took on an air of boyish amusement. I'm not planning on being in Golden Grove anytime soon. But all the same, I get the feeling it might not be long before I meet you there, one way or another. Who can say? That would be so cute if we reunite in that same spot for some reason. With that, his voice trailed off and his gaze drifted in the middle distance in contemplation. Alright, I'm not gonna bother with this one. I don't care for that one.
My pleasure.
I'm flattered that you take an interest in my background. Normally, I wouldn't talk so much about myself, although lately something has me spilling my feelings left and right. In any case, if you care to indulge me with your questions, I suppose we are both winners in the end. And then you were struck by the most obvious idea in the world. You were on a shopping street, window shopping with a tourist. Baxter needed a souvenir for his days in Sunset Bird. No, you will buy him a souvenir. Yeah, I'll buy it for him. Because, he probably always buys shit for himself. No one's ever given him anything. You peruse the displays with purpose rather than passively observing them. What would be a fitting memento of your town, and what would Baxter Ward actually like? I want to give him a cell phone charm so he can have it on his cell phone at all times. You consider those criteria carefully and decide to get him a... I don't get a... Oh, I could get him a necklace though. Necklace. The jewelry was a bright silver chain with black stones strung across it, and it had a lobster claw, a clasp that opened smoothly. It would work with his usual style, you determined. He could wear a little piece of this town as part of his day-to-day life. It was satisfying. Yeah, okay. Apparently I haven't seen that word in a while, so I was questioning it. It was satisfying finding something that worked so well. You went to purchase it discreetly. When you returned to Baxter's side, his excitable expression curved into something more typical for him. What did you find? You duck your head and its bag crinkled in your hands. It's for you, a gift. You offered him the plastic pouch containing the recently bought necklace. He graciously accepted it. Aw, you're too kind. Before he opened it to examine what it was, he paused. I'm going to wait. I don't want to experience everything good right now. Then there will be nothing left. I can have this joy later. Though, don't worry. I'll be sure to open this while you're watching, perhaps at the end of this outing. Oh, alright, it's your gift. Open it whenever you like. Thank you, once again. You walked away from the shop side by side with a successful purchase swinging between you. When Baxter was gone, he'd only have to look at the necklace to recall his days there. And you. Your gaze wandered back to the man beside you who you still hardly knew, the one you had so little time to know. What are you studying? It's not dancing, right? I'm studying for a business administration. Oh my god, you are? You're just businessman and management degree. The expectation is that I will manage and or administrate at some company in the future. He tilted his head, aware of the silly way he put it. Nothing too specific, I'm afraid. That's cool though. Wow, would never have guessed. Studies going well? Management, huh? Do you enjoy it then? That sounds so cool though. Think so. I'd have to say I agree. It might not surprise you to know that I can't be a touch particular. I know the importance of coherence, with individuals acting in a well-coordinated fashion. And I like things to function well for systems to operate smoothly.
Honestly.
I confess you could call me controlling at times, not with people but with processes. Especially when it comes to enacting plans. I'd much rather act under my own steam than follow someone else's lead. Same. But you know what? I live in corporate retail America. I must follow someone's lead. But, you know, the perk is I'm a supervisor, so I'm the middleman, which is terrible, actually. I'm only flexible with the personal, not the business aspects of life. He spread his palms matter-of-factly. But that's enough about my aspirations. You know my story, so what about you, Ichiko? I'm curious to know what the world has in store for you further down the line. Well, I actually just graduated high school.
Really?
My congratulations, it's an achievement to be proud of. If it's not too much to ask, where do you see yourself next? College? Straight into career, perhaps? Alright, tell him your future plans, because he told yours. You told his. It's okay. You'd only spoken about your future plans with a few people before, but you felt like Baxter was someone you could be open with. Anyways, he's also a stranger right now, so it's always easier to open up to a stranger because you'll never see them again. At your reply, Baxter moved in slightly, his eyes sparkling. Since you had responded positively, he had no qualms about letting his curiosity show. My story's a little different from yours. I was thinking about going straight into working full-time. Baxter attentively waited for you to finish and then nodded encouragingly. I think it's wonderful that you have something you're aspiring to already. I wish you the best of luck. It's an exciting thing, taking the first step on your journey. Thanks, Baxter. You're so, understanding.
You know.
You truly never know just where you'll end up. Take me, for instance. I had never lived outside of my hometown until I left for college, and look at me now. All of a sudden, I'm in California, of all places, cavorting about with a charming new friend. His brown eyes met yours briefly. Isn't that delightful? Don't give me those eyes. Don't give me those eyes, bro. Life is nothing if not full of unexpected developments. I like to think we're doing what we can to make the most of that. Am I just a filler episode in your series right now? I didn't have to be here, and you could have pretended no one knew had appeared in your small town and gone on as usual. It's kind of me to say. Sometimes I wish I had your confidence. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next.
Glad to hear it.
I feel the same about finding out where things go from here and now. Besides, we've only been talking about work and school and such. There's much more to life than that. The world would be altogether too dull otherwise. You might not remember me mentioning it when we first met, but my most fulfilling hobby is ballroom dancing. It's a true passion of mine. I seem to remember him saying something along those lines. It's important to have genuine hobbies, don't you think? I do, you know? Sometimes you might have way too many hobbies. Like gaming and writing and reading and painting and, the list goes on. So then you have to fucking pick which one you want to do. But anyway, thank you guys for watching today's episode. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.